welcome to the channel. I wanted to talk to you guys today about one of my favorite building techniques in Minecraft, the fog floor. Now the fog floor, it's been known about for quite a while, and I've got a whole lot of concepts, or at least design points, to give you some ideas about. Now firstly, if you have a look down here, you can see I've got a light source at the bottom and one layer of glass over it. Obviously this doesn't work, but let's back up a bit. What is a fog floor? Essentially, it's a way of diffusing light in Minecraft to make something that looks foggy. You know, create a really cool effect in a way that you can't do with solid blocks. So anyway, let's have a look at this one. Now, to just preface this all, I should say I'm using Optifine just so I can get the glass like this. I didn't like how vanilla looked for this demonstration, and I didn't like how fabric looked. So anyway, we've got one layer of glass at the top and the light source at the bottom. Doesn't really work either, you can still see the light source. Now we've got one at the top and one at the bottom. You can see there's a slight difference, but it doesn't really make much sense. Like, it doesn't quite change anything. Now this one, we've got a couple of layers of glass at the bottom, still doesn't do anything. And the reason that we can't have glass stacked like this is because you just look straight through it. You need to have an air block between it to get the fog effect. Just to give you an idea, it gets a bit foggier each time. Okay, so we come along. Now we got this concept, which is basically having no glass block touching another one. As you can see, it does work to create the fog at the bottom, but it's a little bit obvious that like there's many blocks there, and it doesn't quite look that great. Anyway, we'll move on. Now this is what it could look like if you've got one layer of glass, one layer of air, one layer of glass, etc., all the way up. And I've just done it in orange to show you it can work with different colors. At the bottom, instead of using glowstone like I have for the previous ones, I've got shroom lights. It works. This is what it would look like if you do one layer of glass every 4 blocks. I mean, it still works, but not as well. Same thing again, you need to have the layers done properly, which is what we've done here, but this one doesn't have any light at the bottom at all, which is something, you know, just to think about. It does work without a light source at the bottom, but I think it looks cooler with a light source. This one down here, this is what it looks like, or just a concept of if you wanted to do it sideways, so horizontally. Absolutely, it's possible. You can see a very good example of it in Hermitcraft from Grian with the Rift. And what I discovered is that it's good to have a very low light source at the back. So I've just used a mushroom, which gives a light level of 1. Okay. So yeah, and again, I used a different color, can work. Down here, this is completely solid glass, does nothing, to prove my point from earlier. This one, we're mixing different colors together. And different layers, you've got different types of glass. And look, it does work, it creates an interesting effect, but it doesn't quite work properly. You really have to mess around with it a lot, it's very finicky. But again, it does work. It also works with black glass. And you can see pretty clearly that I've done a checkerboard pattern with the lighting at the bottom here. Doesn't really work too well with the standard sort of 7 or 8 layers of glass. So it's best to go full or nothing at all. And we've got a bigger version here. This one here, we're using layers of different colors of glass. So we start off with white at the top, but we've actually got darker towards the bottom. Now, depending on how you do this, this can actually work really well. This one doesn't really show it off that well. However, if you look at it next to this one, which is all white, you can see there is quite a difference. And obviously, the more layers you do, the more the fog effect will work. And this is how you can build fog floors or clouds that
Never gonna let you down.